Welcome back. I wanted to do this video to bring you guys up to date on what to do with disposing certain things and wax removal. I realize that a lot of you are disposing things in the wrong manner. The majority of you are not disposing at all. Then some of you are disposing in the garbage. Then some of you are taking stuff to the graveyard all the time. And as you're taking your money work there, you're taking your love work there, you're taking protection work there, every single thing there. So let's talk about the graveyard stuff first. First of all, if you're gonna be taking stuff to the graveyard, you're basically leaving things into the hands of many spirits there. Some and majority of dark entities. So if you're taking money there and next thing you know your money's messed up, if you're taking your relationship there and your relationship is messed up, I want you to understand the concept of what you're really doing there. If you go and you dispose work, good work, positive work with positive energy that you just basically finish working on and you're trying to put it back into the universe and you actually bury it into the graveyard, you're leaving it into the hands of a spirit. What spirit now? You don't even know. I wouldn't be able to tell you that either unless you get a reading. But you're leaving it majority of the time into the hands of darkness. The graveyard work is for spirit work. It's for those of the dead. It's for different types of deities. It's also for low vibration. It's also for darkness. So say right now you was to work a ritual with a certain spirit, with a specific spirit, then it's done and it's completed and you've been guided to take this work to the graveyard, then that is what you do. You also need permission to leave work in certain graves. You also need to leave certain types of offerings before entering, after, and then you need a full body cleanse. You even need to sometimes uncross yourself after doing work at the graveyard because you're leaving with a lot of energy when you leave something into the grave and into the hands of something that you cannot see, something you're not aware of. Many of you are not getting readings, so you don't know what you're dealing with. You're just doing the work. You're trying to avoid the reading. The reading is really going to really guide you. The reading, the reader does basically the worker doesn't care what you are doing with that man. If you are his side piece, if you are whatever you are, the worker isn't gonna take it personal. The worker is not going to care so much that you are his side piece or his extra woman or you've been cheating with this man or whatever the situation is, that they won't be able to guide you directly and tell you, listen, the work that you're doing, your work you're disposing to break up him and his wife, his girlfriend, whoever that person is, has to be disposed at such and such location. When you do work for people, that type of personal stuff goes out the window. I tell you guys to do stuff just with justified energy. Majority of you don't. That doesn't make or break my day. I'm not going to run around to go crazy. Oh my God, don't do that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. We're all grown. Whatever reasons you want to do it. When you come to me for a reading, I'm going to give you 100% of the truth of that reading. I do not place my personal feelings into that. That's not how it is. So whenever you get a reading, it is based on the question that you ask. Should you be doing this? Where should you dispose it? Whatever the situation is, you need to be guided. If you cannot do a reading and you don't have that clairvoyance and you can't communicate with the ancestors, with the spirits, with the deities, with the saints, if you do not know how to communicate and read the messages that they're sending you, then yes, you need a reading to make sure you're disposing in the right place. How can you go just take work to the graveyard and not know what graveyard you're taking it to? What energies is going to be there? What you're going to bring back? Or what's going to be sitting in you after you do that work? Stop taking work to the graveyard. And then you guys are asking questions like, Magic, should I have taken it there? You need to get a reading. You should have got a reading before you even did that. And you have to get a reading. Whatever you're doing personally with somebody, the worker, the reader, the psychic, whomever it is that is looking into it, their personal feelings have nothing to do with what is right and what is wrong. What is right is where you should be disposing it. And what is wrong is how you disposing it in the wrong place. So for those of you that are afraid, I don't know why you're so afraid to get readings. Nobody cares about everything else that you're doing. Nobody's looking in to see everything you did in your life. They're focused on that specific question. They basically have tunnel vision, and they're going to answer that question. And that's what it's based on. Nobody's going to be biased against what's really happening and what's not. So for those of you that are afraid that the reader's going to see this, listen, if I'm going to help you, I'm going to help you. And if I'm not going to help you, I'm not going to help you. It has nothing to do with who you doing, who you screwing. No. Do whatever you want to do in your personal life. Whatever makes you happy, do it. Whatever y'all doing, do. But when it comes down to doing things the right way, when you try to get me involved in it, you're going to have to get a reading. Don't come and ask me questions that are out of a general purpose unless you get a reading. When you get a reading, then I'll be able to direct you into the right place. But if you're disposing love work, good work, money, work for your job, and you're putting your boss in the graveyard, these people, what did they do that you have to put them in a graveyard? Nothing. You just don't know how to dispose, and you're disposing it in the wrong place. And a lot of that work got your personal information in it, and you burying yourself now. And now you want to know why you're sick and why you're being held down and why no progress is coming forth to you. Graveyard work has a lot of spirits. There's a lot of energy, a lot of entities, a lot of darkness, a lot of low vibration. Everybody in this world is not good, living or dead. So when you go to the graveyard and you knock on somebody's grave and you steal in their damn graveyard dirt too as well, you're going to bring issues among yourself. So make sure that you're disposing in the right place. Stuff like that don't need to go in there. Stuff like that don't need to go in there. A lot of you are doing the crossroads, which is understandable. That's like one of the first places that you'll do. You do the crossroads. When it comes down to crossroad work, if I leave certain things at a crossroad, I wanted to either go in a different direction, or it's at a crossroads and it has to be set there to set purpose to finish the disposing. So basically, like sometimes if I do like cleansing work, I need the roads to open up for you in different directions. So I would leave it at that crossroad so things can start opening up. If I want to do work for money now, that's stuff that I would either mail to you, and I would tell you, listen, put this in the back of your yard. Find a corner in the back of your yard and put it there, or take it and place it and bury it under your front steps or close to your steps. If it's work for love, a mojo bag or whatnot, and the work is done, even remnants of wax and certain things, I would tell you, keep it close. That's why I told you before, if you have a lot of pots and plants and different things, bury it there. When I was younger, there was this lady that lived in apartment buildings when I would visit my friend, and she had a bunch of pots, a bunch of plants, a bunch of things. And she told me, she said, when you get older, you will probably understand, but this is where I have to dispose things. I have no idea what she was talking about at all. But she will always tell us these pots are not to be touched. Really nice lady, really, really good energy, very positive energy. And she kept her stuff outside her door all the time. Because I used to be like, why she just don't keep her pots inside? And, you know, everybody got their little balcony doors and different things. Why she just don't keep... But whatever work she needed had to sit in those pots. You know, as you get older, you understand more. So for me, when I started doing work and putting things and disposing, a lot of the work went to the crossroads. As I got older and I spoke to other people that had more experience than me, because I was a teenager doing this when I first started. I heard of witchcraft and hoodoo and stuff and voodoo and Santeria when I was in like junior high school. There was this girl that would teach us how to write on paper. And she would tell us, if you want a boy to like you, this is what you do. And you get a red marker and you write around this and you write his name on this. She will always do that. As we, continued going to school with her and stuff like that, people used to always say her mother's a witch, her mother's into voodoo and stuff like that. I never got too close to her to find out everything, because she gave off an energy that a lot of us, we just didn't like her. And it's just not even, I won't even say really didn't like her, but we didn't like the energy that she gave off. And then I remember there was a rumor going around where they said that she did voodoo on a boy. It wasn't really something I was interested in. So it just came in my mind. I heard it, and it went away. But I do remember her always wanting us to come and huddle up around fourth period. Fourth and fifth period was the time where we had a little bit more relaxation. The teachers was a little bit cool. We could do a little bit of whatever we wanted to do. And she will always want us to sit at her table. And she will always talk about witchcraft. I would listen, but it wasn't something I was interested in at 12 years old at all. Even when I got to high school, I would hear about it. I knew about it. I knew of people doing it. I knew of people close to me doing it. I saw it, but it wasn't something that at that age I was trying to understand. I didn't care about that at all. As I got older now, I started meeting people and they would tell me things. I would listen. And all of that knowledge I intook. And I use it to this day. I listen to people, I understand them, and I also overstand them. And a lot of the things that a lot of older spiritualists and witches or whatever you want to call them is stuck in my mind. Because I'm getting older now. I'm more developed in this. I'm getting a bit more seasoned. And I'm like, damn, I remember this. And I remember this. And I remember that. And I remember a lady, let me see, maybe up until like 5 years ago, whenever I would see her and I would go to New York, we would talk. She has a shop. And she would tell me all the time. She would tell me never ever wait until things are bad to start fixing them. And me and her would talk about this all the time. And I would tell her, I always tell my clients, my customers, anybody around me long term, why did you wait so long to do things? Why did you wait until things progressed and got so bad? And then you want people to jump up and fix things for you. Why did you wait? Did you not know things were happening? Did you not feel it? Did you not sense it? And the thing is, as a woman, we have this extra sense where we know something is going on. And I know for many of you, you wait until the last minute to act upon it. So whenever you feel that sixth sense going a bit crazy, get a reading to see what's going on. And get a reading to make sure you're working things the right way. Because the majority of the time, you're leaving things in the wrong places. And you're even when it comes down to the remains of your wax, I tell you, like the glass candles, depending on what it is, I will leave it at a crossroad. I wrap it up really good. I tie it up really good. And I leave it at a crossroads. Not in the middle of the road where a car can roll over it and busted tires, at a corner of a crossroads. I know people that will put it in the middle of the street. But it depends what that is. Because there are some works that you want to leave at a crossroad. You want to make sure you leave it there. It's not that is of negative nature, but it's something that you really want to remove from yourself. Like a van work. You will leave that type of stuff there. I would tell you to leave stuff at a crossroad there. I wouldn't tell you to take that to a graveyard. Hell no. When it comes down to work for money and your business, I would tell you to keep that close. So your backyard, your front yard, in your house, in a pot, under your bed, somewhere tucked in the mattress, somewhere close. Even sometimes when you get a new home, there's certain things that I prepare for my customers and my clients, and I tell them, this has to go in that wall. So make sure when you're getting things fixed up, make sure you put this into that wall and make sure nobody can see it. And you're kind of like binding that into the home, and you're binding that within your energy. There are certain things that I would tell you to put in water too as well. Yes, the rivers, oceans, for depending on some of you that live overseas, and a lot of my West Indian clients. I would tell you certain things to do. I would tell you certain places to take them. Majority of the time, it's rivers, streams, moving. Water that sits still sometimes you can use to block people. And a lot of y'all probably didn't know that. It sits there. It doesn't move. If it is a lake that's freely flowing, you could use that as well to remove certain things from you, to get things away from you. So when you break up certain couples, you may not want to put them into the graveyard. You may want to put them in a free flow of water to remove them from you, to remove her or to remove him. You can also put certain breakup work and couples situations at the crossroads as well. Not for positive energy though, to cross them up. To really stop them from going in different avenues, to really stop them from moving forward. There's certain things you can do. There's certain things you can say. So the crossroad, it is a good place for a lot of different types of energy. But you got to know what you're dealing with. Even the wax remains. Sometimes I would tell you, listen, all that wax that you use for love, put it back together and remake a candle and burn it back down. All of that wax you use for money, put it back together. Remake a candle. Burn something positive out of it. Yes, you can do that. Now, would I advise you using different types of work for negativity, protection, hexing and cursing and crossing and put back together? No. You don't want that on you. You don't even want that burning back in your house. Of course not. You don't do that. So make sure everything is of clear intent. All I'm hearing a lot of times is people of non-hoodoo practice telling people, oh, you have to have these intentions to do this. You have to have the intent. Break it down. Tell them what the intent means. Break it down. Tell them what the manifesting is. They can't do that because they don't know. They're just using big words to make things sound good to your ear. But when it's time to come to dispose and to remove that wax and to even get a ritual going, they can't tell you that. Make sure whoever you're going to, you ask them the questions. When y'all go to people that mess y'all up, I realize y'all always come back to me to ask me, Magic, I made a mistake. Can you help me? Magic, this person told me do this. Can you help me? Magic, I have over 300 videos. Why have you not been watching them? Watch them, learn, listen, write a book with it. It's a lot of information there. So use that to help guide yourself. Also use the different type of information I'm giving you, telling you to work on certain days, telling you to work the moon phase, morning magic, night magic, afternoon, working with the clock, the sun. Use that to help create some kind of stability for yourself and to help you to map out how you're going to do things. It's going to help guide you through work. It's going to help you to come up with a type of pattern for yourself when it comes to your energy and your magic. It's going to help you to read your work. It's going to help you to know when to dispose, to communicate and deal with the messages that the spirit send as well. So when I tell you work a certain phase, do it. Don't get stuck working with just new moon, full moon. Well, you can't possibly just know the new moon and the full moon. There's waxing phases, there's waning phases, there's the sunrise, the sunset. There's all different types of energies. There's the planetary days as well that you can work with. So don't be the type of witch to work with just new moon, full moon. And whomever it is that you're working with, if they are going to advise you to do a reading and do a this and do a that, they should be able to work for you too as well. A lot of you are going to psychics, and then that psychic can't help you do nothing. Go to a real spiritualist, okay? Go to someone that can help you to back up your work, tell you what to do, how to do it, even if they guide you on what products to use. And also, disposing and telling you where and what part of nature they want you to put it in. Sometimes some things have to go back into the earth, depending on what it is. I wouldn't tell you to, get all crazy and put a bunch of glass candles all over the place, but try to recycle them. Use them for your own uses. Like, you do not need to take glass candles and do all types of shit with it. You could just clean it off, wipe off the name, and put it for recycling. That's like the easiest thing to do. You're going to have a bunch of candles all over the place. You don't want to bury all of those in your backyard. Small things, especially if you own the property. And honestly, when you're ready, you kind of leave it there. I mean, why would you be digging all of that up? I mean, you could, but sometimes you're going to be digging up a spell as well. You have to consider that too. A lot of my customers, they get themselves in situations, and I'll do a reading for them and I'll tell them where certain things are. There's some places where they cannot get it out. It's down in the bayou somewhere. They can't take that out. It's down sitting in the lake. They can't take that out. Make sure that you're doing the right thing, because the last thing you want to do is to block yourself up and become trapped with your own hands. Everybody isn't spiritual. Everybody doesn't have the power to move things and to stop things. And I know a lot of you are not into hoodoo, but you still have hoodoo practices, which is cool, which is all right. A lot of you are into a bunch of different types of metaphysical thing, and a lot of you are into new age magic. Make sure whatever it is that you're working with, that it really, really works for you. A majority of my clientele are into a bunch of different things. And then I have a bunch of you that follow hoodoo 100% and the practices. And you know the origins of it because I've explained it to you. Make sure whoever it is that's telling you that they know about hoodoo, make sure that they can back that up. Because a lot of people will just say hoodoo for your ears. And they have no African American ancestors at all. They have no African ancestors, period. Hoodoo is an African practice. And when you break it down and you know that once hoodoo came into the Americas and everybody started practicing down south and you know the origins of it all, you want to make sure the person that is working for you, they know the means behind it. If someone taught them with that background, yes, they can teach you. But a lot of times there's a lot of things that we have to go to our ancestors for. So what ancestors are they going to speak to venerate that energy? So make sure if they're really claiming hoodoo and they're talking about traditional hoodoo, listen, where are your ancestors? Who are you talking to? Where are your black friends? Honestly, in all actuality, if they are practicing hoodoo and they have not one black friend, they don't know what an African American is, they don't know where the Africans came from and how slavery came about, they don't know nothing of ancestors, then you may want to rethink working with somebody that's just claiming hoodoo. Seriously. They may be working with other things. So if they are, you need to know. As long as you know what you're working with, then that is cool. But if you are unaware and you don't know nothing much of this person that's telling you they're practicing hoodoo and half of the time they don't even like black people, then you're going to have a problem. And I see a lot of people, they don't want to teach hoodoo to anybody else. They want to keep it closed knit because people are ruining hoodoo. People are. And religiously, a lot of the Christians practiced hoodoo when it first came about down in the South. It is not a practice where you need to be initiated, but there's a lot of venerations through hoodoo that you need to be aware of. You have to be. The ancestors are not, I heard somebody say the ancestors are only from voodoo. That is incorrect. That is incorrect. That is the worst thing that I've ever heard somebody say. Honestly. Hoodoo is filled with the ancestors. And if you know the rites and you know the certain things that and how hoodoo is built, then you would know, of course, we have ancestors. What the fuck else would we be working with? If you know where hoodoo was generated and when it came through the Americas, through the Africans that were enslaved in America, then you would know exactly everything that you need to know. I have a bunch of videos on here about that. So I would tell you to make sure that you listen to it. Don't send me a bunch of emails asking me how to do this. Magic, what's this and that? Magic, can you tell me about hoodoo and break it down? And no, I have a video on it that you should watch. And whoever it is that you're dealing with, they need to be able to tell you why they started practicing, where it came about, especially if they're not of African American kin. You cannot just do hoodoo and not have that. You can't. If somebody taught them with that ancestral blood, yes, it may be okay if they can teach you. But then again, there's a lot of people of African American and they don't know nothing about it. So just make sure whoever it is that you're practicing, they know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. They're not speaking no bullshit, talking about there's no ancestors in hoodoo. It's just in voodoo. You gotta know what you're talking about. You can't just speak shit to people and expect people to follow this shit. And I'm not here to answer any questions about anybody else on YouTube bullshitting. The bullshit doesn't last for too long. So if y'all watching people who have their comments turned off and y'all can't question them or even email them and ask them anything about the things they're telling you to do, that has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. Everybody around me, among me, knows how to contact me. You leave comments on everywhere, my Instagram, my Facebook, my shop. You leave your reviews. You leave it everywhere that you want. So anybody else that's on their bullshit and they got their comments turned off and they put in a bullshit videos, please stop sending them to me. I don't want to see them. I don't want to hear them. My channel and what I'm teaching y'all is 100%. 100%. And for the real ones that are still watching and still following me, I appreciate y'all. But for the ones that I keep sending me stuff on Instagram, Magic, what do you think about this? What do you think about this person doing this? This person told me to do this and they ruined my friend life. This person told me to do this and it's not real. Magic, this person told me use poppy seeds for love. Well, you want to do it, you do it. I've told you not to do certain things and you keep doing it. So that has nothing to do with me. Know who you're dealing with. Don't email me and ask me about things that I have spoken on. That means you're not paying attention. Don't email me and tell me, oh, Magic, this person is claiming hoodoo and they racist. They don't deal with black people. They don't know nothing about slavery. They don't know about how hoodoo originated in the South. They don't know about where the practices came from. They don't know nothing. What do you want me to do about that? What can I do about that? I know the origins of everything. Everything that I'm dealing with. And nowadays, with the way hoodoo is, it's like hoodoo's combined with new age magic, a bunch of metaphysical unknown bullshit, and a lot of other witchy practices, because there's a lot of other types of witches and people that are trying to take hoodoo and make it into whatever they want, and then they'll call it, oh, this is traditional hoodoo, but they don't deal with black people. So how can you teach somebody hoodoo and you don't have any kin or origins of African American history into your blood and into your family? I find it ridiculous, to tell you the truth. The way things are now, yes, everybody can practice hoodoo, because it's not something where you have to be initiated into. It's not a form of a religious practice 100% where a specific religion is practicing it. Everybody can learn it. Can everybody do it? No. Can everybody teach it? No. Is it for everybody? No. Practice what you like. I'm going to teach y'all what y'all need to know. And I have people from all over the world practicing hoodoo with me. All over the world. And they appreciate me and they love me, and I love them right back. They're learning. They're trying to understand it. And I tell them, and I'll continue to tell y'all, if that person is teaching you something and you feel like it's bullshit, don't do it. Question them, ask them, how did you learn this? Or whatever it is that you feel you need to ask. Go ahead, because you are the one working with them, not me. If you're working with me, you know what you need to know already. And it doesn't matter what your skin color is. It doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't matter where you're based in the world. If you are learning with me, you're going to learn the real deal. You are. You need to question the people that have nothing to do with anything dealing with hoodoo in their family, but are claiming it and they're selling y'all bullshit. So, I mean, I feel like I've been 100% real on everything, telling y'all how to do things. The crossroads and the graveyard and your backyard, disposing things in water and burying things different places. Like I've been telling y'all how to do that for years. It's up to you to follow it. If you are taking all of your spells and putting them into the garbage, then you need to contact sanitation. Don't email me and ask me what to do. Ask them what the hell you should do, since you've been putting all your shit in the garbage. Like, subscribe, and stay blessed.